So guys, after buying many Nigerians, the Fulani headsmen are going to be rewarded with ranches. Nigerians have reacted to this video. I'm going to allow you watch this video fully, but we are going to be taking some reactions. You know, we all know how these people have been going around buying Nigerians. Now the Chief of Defense Staff is saying ranching is the way to go, and that the defense headquarters is leading in showing example that they've already set up a ranch in Abuja. They want the federal government to come in and create ranches, you know, for these headers who have bought Nigerians, and now they are being rewarded. Don't forget that we've been told that majority of these headers are not even Nigerians, and now they want to build ranches for them. Many Nigerians are opposing this move. Let's quickly take a look at some of the reactions before we go back to the video. This one says, because he lacks understanding of the jihadist agenda, the people perpetrating this buying are not indigenous to Nigeria, and they are keen on buying and taking over ancestral territories in Nigeria. That is the agenda right there. So people are saying that these people are not even interested in ranches, you know. Don't forget that the Governor Ganduje, then when he was the governor of Kanu, told them to come to Kanu State, that he has enough land to establish these ranches for them, you know, so that they won't be moving around with their cows and be causing all this problem. They refused, and now the CDS is coming again to say ranching is the way to go. Are these people really ready to take up ranching? Assuming the federal government actually build these ranches for them, are they willing to, you know, take up or send their cows to all these ranches? Now this other person says, if the owners of the cow business can buy expensive guns and ammunition for herdsmen, they sure can buy ranches. So there may be other reasons for not building ranches. So this person is saying that if those who are giving them these cows are equally giving them, you know, all the weapons they are using to commit all this carnage that we are seeing, that if they can buy them gun, they can equally set up ranches for them. And this other person said the government does not need to romance about with terrorists. A single policy will stop all this menace. Keep your cows in ranches, and any cow seen roaming around will be confiscated and burnt. Cattle reign is a private business and should be treated as such. And then he wrote further, let me quickly bring out the text. When state governments go around banning Okadas, they don't offer to buy tricycles or cars for them. You see it? So we need to start being serious in this country. This guy is saying that the government is romancing with these terrorists, you know. How dare you say you be the one to build ranches for private businesses? This is wrong. They should just put this law that you should stop roaming about with your cows on the street. Any cows in, we saw Ghana did it recently, but Nigeria has refused to do it. That person says, it amazes me on how a nation is meant to bend because of one group. All over the world, you buy your land and ranch. As it stands, citizens of the Middle Belt should start investing in ranches and creating them to feed its populace. Once this is done, you extinguish the demand for meat from these he used the language there. I think he wanted to say murderous individuals, you know, from these murderous individuals. So this person is equally saying that, you know, the Middle Belt government should create these ranches and rent it out to these people so that they can also make some money from it. And this other person says their state government should build ranch for them, and they should be able to pay for tax if their cow will graze there. Federal government cannot build ranch for a particular group of people except they want to do that across the federation. So this person is saying that if you build one ranch in Abuja, you should also build in other parts of the country, so that assuming somebody from the southwest also want to start rearing cows, the person can go to that ranch. If somebody who is from the southeast equally want to, you know, start rearing cows, you can equally go there. It shouldn't just be meant for a particular tribe and then the federal government is the one to take up the bills. That shouldn't happen. So I'm just going to allow you to take a look at what the CDS said during this interview session on Arise Television. Take your time, watch this video. And before then, this last reaction, this person said the problem is multidimensional. Modern ranching won't even solve 15% of it, and definitely not when the same government keeps sending the so-called repentant killers back into the very community they terrorize in the name of rehabilitation. Plus, how do you expect healing when the trauma is being recycled? So many concerns coming from Nigerians. Take your time and watch this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
The defense headquarters has just established its defense ranch because we want to show example as part of our non-kinetic effort. Sometimes we show examples, so we do a model of a ranch. I had the opportunity of being the first executive director for Nigerian Army Farms when I established, and we established a ranch. It's in Abuja. Once you ranch, animals are properly fed, properly taken care of, you get more value. You don't need to take them around. So that is critical. And so our example is, we think it is important that we get some farmland, federal government or through the livestock, we work together in partnership, we build model ramps so that people can see what the ranch looks like and the importance. And then secondly, you could also give opportunity for people to come and invest and build pastures, grassland, so to say, because the animals need this grass. So if you provide that and you deny, you stop them from moving around to enter into farms, this conflict will stop. And then gradually confidence, because as it is now, confidence has been lost. Both parties don't see eye to eye. And that's why it's critical. But we must make them communicate. We must make them understand.
And what is the decision on the ranching thing?
Yeah. I think the Mr. President
is going ahead now?
No, it's going ahead. Mr. President mentioned,
they started it. I mean, the former governor started it.
No, but you know, now we have the Minister of Livestock.
Right.
And the Mr. President called him there and gave him...
Troops were fighting Boko Haram and ISWAP in the northeast. They were also battling armed herders in the Middle Belt, bandits in the northwest, and insurgents in the southeast. And as fighting continues to rage on multiple fronts, so is the army stretched to the limit. And now, with the north central region erupting again, as well as the resurgence of fighting in the northeast, where everyone thought Boko Haram had been neutralized, Nigeria's military is being pulled deeper into internal conflicts, placing an enormous strain on its capabilities. So with all these crises brewing, Nigeria's defense chief, General Christopher Musa, has become the first top official to publicly suggest building a defense wall across Nigeria's borders and fencing the country in. He attributes much of the conflict raging across Nigeria to foreign fighter infiltration, all of them coming in, searching for a piece of this country's perceived riches. So in that regard, how critical is it to take full control of Nigeria's borders before it's too late?
People say, no, it's not, it's impossible. Pakistan fenced 1,350-kilometer border with Afghanistan. That was the only time they had peace. Saudi Arabia and Iraq, 1,400 kilometers fenced completely. Can we start thinking of fencing our borders? We have 1,500 kilometers with Niger Republic, 1,900 kilometers with Cameroon. Chad is there. All over us, surrounded by Francophone countries, and the Sahel is heating up.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined now by the man you saw in that video, Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. Great to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed for making time to talk to us, because I know you've had a long few days.
Very well.
I'm going to get to the issue of the border in a minute, but first of all, the President, yourself, the head of the police, the heads of the intelligence agencies, the National Security Advisor, and a host of other security and political leaders were all in Benue State on Wednesday. How much impact do you think that had on the morale of the people there, who are in the eye of the storm of this latest surge of insecurity, or is that debatable?
Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here. I think it is very important that we understand that the presence of Mr. President in Benue State has really gone to show the people that he's not far away from them. He feels what they're feeling and wants this to stop. With the members of the security forces all being there together, it shows that solidarity on the part of government together, including members of the legislative and all. So it shows that we need, whenever any part of this country is suffering or has an issue, that love, that care is what this has shown that the president really cares and everybody wants this thing to end. And it is a morale booster to especially our own troops too, seeing that the president is there and seeing, because we lost two
yes,
personnel
indeed.
there. We lost a policeman.
Our sympathies go out to you.
And so those are the issues we're seeing. And I think they really appreciate at least that the president was able to even take time to come around and see. And you know, the first place you went to was a hospital to see how those injured were and all the things he mentioned that the federal government was going to do to the states. And that's the importance, to show solidarity with the people.
But of course, beyond the photo ops and the appeals for peace and reconciliation, which he was making while he was there, the expectation was that what we would hear would be of arrests that have been made with lightning speed and a real sort of game-changing intervention from the security services. But we didn't hear or see that.
No, that has been done. Because it was not announced, does not mean it's not taking place.
Have you arrested anybody there?
The police has arrested a number of people,
right.
And actions have been taken. Investigations ongoing with the DSS, the police. You know, it takes a lot. Because we are law-abiding individuals, so we have to be sure of what we're doing. And I think that's a critical aspect. But all the security forces are working together to ensure that this stops. You know, if you look at how did we get to where we are over time, you know, issues have been on ground, small skirmishes have been going on because law and order is not there. Punishment has not been meted on individuals who have committed. A criminal is a criminal. Everyone who commits a crime should be prosecuted. That has not been done. So that is the issue, and this thing has been
but why
the
do you
one
think
in
it's
Benue
not being done?
Well, I think I really don't. Like I said, most of it is.
You don't want to get into
political.
the politics.
I don't want to get into the politics.
Right, I can understand that.
Yes.
But let me put it another way. Yeah. What is your sense of how best we should characterize what's going on in Benue State and the rest of that north central region? Are there still, I mean, should we still be calling them farmer-herder clashes, or should we now call it what it is, which is pure terrorism? Because the barbarity with which these crimes are carried out, the fury, I mean, it looks like something by Boko Haram or ISWAP.
So let me tell you, I think it's a lot. It's just a potpourri of all of them playing out together. And, you know, criminals have a tendency to want to work together. So you can't rule that out.
But if you don't call it terrorism, I don't mean to interrupt you, then you're not going to get the kind of resources you need to really tackle it. If you keep calling it farmer-herder clashes, it looks like it's kind of community skirmishes, when this appears to be a much bigger thing.
There's a lot. We have the herders in it, we have the kidnappers in it, we have the criminals in it, we have the terrorists, everybody is playing a part in it.
And you're mobilizing for all that.
All that together, because we have to deal with them all at the same time. And you know, the way it is that we have different challenges in different regions. And this is peculiar. Like I said, historically, it's gone back, way back. And it started in the past. If a cow enters a farm and damages a farm, the cow is arrested or caught, compensation is paid, or if they kill an animal suddenly, it's compensated. So over time, that stopped. What stopped it? That's the problem. So we started losing faith with those ones. Instead of these settlements, people started taking laws into their hands. If the cow gets into the farmer gets angry, deals with the cow. If he deals with the cow, the owner of the cow also gets angry and attacks the
So there is revenge.
So there is revenge. So these are the issues on ground.
Right.
And so which means, from my own assessment, three things matter. The people in Benue State believe that there's land grabbing going on. They have that perception. And because over time this has happened. Now most of our troops, when we send them on patrol, some of the areas are empty. Nobody is there, but there is no foreigner there. But the idea is that if you go in there, you might be attacked. One thing. Secondly, the issue of the animals. The animals stray into farms. Now, because if you know Benue, it is lush and it's very attractive to animals. If an animal gets into a farm, there's always a problem. It creates problems. Now, if you arrest the animal or you kill the animal, it becomes another issue.
Right.
So if we stop the animals from moving, there won't be issue. If we stop killing the animals, there won't be issue. So for me, these two things are basic. The issue of land grabbing is political. The government, state government particularly, need to really step in to ensure that we address and bring all the parties together.
Right.
Sit down and agree on this. And from henceforth, any acts that is conducted is acts of criminality. We can start dealing with that from then. And I think we'll have peace if we're able to do that.
Well, I mean, one of the things that the president suggested while he was there was the issue of ranching.
Yeah.
Is that something that you would support?
I will go with that. I will go with ranching. And I tell you, the defense headquarters has just established its defense ranch because we want to show example as part of our non-kinetic effort. Sometimes we show examples, so we do a model of a ranch. I had the opportunity to have been the first executive director for Nigerian Army Farms when I established, and we established a ranch. It's in Abuja. Once you ranch, animals are properly fed, properly taken care of, you get more value. You don't need to take them around. So that is critical. And so our example is, we think it is important that we get some farmland, federal government or through the livestock, we work together in partnership, we build model ramps so that people can see what the ranch looks like and the importance. And then secondly, you could also give opportunity for people to come and invest and build pastures, grassland, so to say, because the animals need this grass. So if you provide that and you deny it, you stop them from moving around to enter into farms, this conflict will stop. And then gradually confidence, because as it is now, confidence has been lost. Both parties don't see eye to eye. And that's why it's critical that we must make them communicate. We must make them understand.
And what is the decision on the ranching thing?
Yeah. I think the Mr. President
has going ahead now.
No, it's going ahead. Mr.
Because
President mentioned,
they started it. I mean, the former governor started it.
No, but you know now we have the Minister of Livestock.
Right.
And Mr. President called him there and gave him a directive. He wants it established.
Okay.
So we're also going to partner with him directly to ensure that it's done.
Right. Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
But of course, your problems go beyond Benue State, don't they? I mean, according to the latest figures released by the security and intelligence firm Beacon Consulting, which you probably heard of, about 1,098 people have been killed in Benue State since President Tinubu came to office 2 years ago. That is a staggering number of people. In any other country, I mean, if one person in the UK is killed, the entire security apparatus is called up.
Yeah.
1,800 people, 1,098 people, have been killed in Benue State since President Tinubu came to office 2 years ago. But even Borno State is even worse. It has seen 3,800 people killed in 2 years, followed by Katsina, Zamfara, and Benue State even comes fifth.
Yeah.
And across the 36 states, 17,000 people have been killed. Are you horrified, as I am, by those incredibly high figures?
For any death, even if there's just one person, even if it's just one life that is lost,
But
it's something
how
not to
is
feel
it,
about.
General, that so many people can die in the space of 2 years?
Well, like I said, once you have issues with law and order, people take to impunity. It is the impunity we're dealing with. People have no regard for life. Maybe in the past, during the past regimes, efforts were being made to make sure that we talk. But over time, I think we lost that. And so, you know one basic thing? The family values have gone. We all can attest to that. And you can see that people now have no value for life. If there's an accident and something happens, instead of individuals to actually deal with the person, the patient, you see them removing phones, and people have no value for life. So killing now makes it look as if it's just a common thing now. So those are this. And then because the Sahel, you know, I always mention that because the Sahel is open, we have a bunch of lunatics, so to say, that have no regard for anybody. And these are the guys that have come and have inculcated these individuals that are doing this killing. So to them, if you are not with them, you are better dead.
And the problem for you that I see, because I mean a lot of people see quite a lot of sincerity on your part. I mean, the problem for you is that you're the army, you're not the police.
Yeah. And that's all other issues that need to come in. Like I said, for a country to really thrive very well, we have countries that don't even have the military, and yet they're thriving. But you cannot have a country without the police, because they prevent and detect crime. So efforts are being made now to see how we can reposition police. I was at the IGP and we had this discussion, even with Mr. President and the NSC. There's a need to look at how we increase the size of the police, but training. Why the military is still standing strong is our level of training is consistent. We are not many, but yet we train consistent. I told you, I was at the NDA. I joined the NDA in 1986. I have been writing exams until I became a major general. For every position I got to, I wrote an exam for it. So you are trained and you are prepared for the future, and that's very, very critical.
So refresh your
courses. You go different courses. You go, even our junior officers and our soldiers, before you get promoted, you must have done certain number of courses. So this keeps you abreast, and that's what I think we should also transfer to the police, so that we have very, very determined professional people that will actually do this.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot, yes, definitely.
And the word professionalism is key, isn't it?
It's critical.
And there was a call, I mean, we saw you on television just a minute ago, the clip we used there, a call by you for Nigeria's borders to be completely fenced.
Yes, I reason because, you know, having gone through my analysis and looking at the Sahel, the main attraction to all these terrorists and bandits is Nigeria. Because this perception Nigeria is a rich country.
And that it's that there's no law to prevent them from getting in.
And the borders are porous. So now the easiest way is, and that's why it's important, if you follow the news and see the kind of killings going on in Niger, Chad, and in Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali, it's so much. If this continues like this in the next 1 year, there will be issues. And you know, of recent, there were attacks from Burkina Faso in Benue Republic. It's just 50 kilometers to Nigeria. That is another area. So for me, I think, and like I mentioned, all around us, we have Francophone countries. Our ideologies are not the same. For us to be secured, it is important. Let us fence our borders. Some people say, look, it's expensive. But I say, what is money if you are dead?
Indeed.
It's of no use. So countries that have sat down and have analyzed and seen that, look, strategically is important, because once you fence that area, you use technology now. You have cameras, you have drones that will go. It reduces the manpower you need to engage in that area, and they could be used elsewhere. So that's important. And besides that, now for Pakistan, they use wire mesh, double wire mesh for all that distance. So if the distance is 1,000, they use double, which means 2,000. And then use concertina wire at the middle, so that even if you penetrate here, before you get through here, you are seen and action is taken. That has given them respite. That's what we are looking at. We have Ajakuta steel mill, we have rolling mills in Nigeria. We could engage them, we don't need to go anywhere. We just tax them from here, they can produce what we need, and then we deploy. Now you see the level of employment opportunities we're going to bring in building those aspects. And the most critical one for us now, even if we were to start, let's start with Nigeria and Niger.
Is that the most dangerous?
That's the most dangerous, because the Lakrawas, that's where they're coming in.
Yes.
The Boko Haram that are coming in from the Sahel are coming, the ISWAP guys are coming in all through those areas. So that's why it's critical. If we start from there, and we can start state-wise, at the same time, each state will start on its own, and before you know it, we're there.
Yes, and that's a good point. It doesn't have to be just the federal government.
No, it doesn't have federal. It could start at every level. But the important thing is, look, we have a threat that we have to really, really look at. It is very critical and it's very important.
Well, I mean, you are at the very highest level of the military. Yeah. I mean, have you made the suggestion to the president?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
you pick up the phone and you call him, do you?
I don't call the president. I meet the
Okay, you meet him in person.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometime.
Yes,
because I mean, apart from the fact that, as you correctly identified, that it will be hugely expensive. Because I mean, in that video, people probably didn't see it, but you talked about the how long the borders are. I mean, you're talking about over 1,000 kilometers all around. And so you're looking at...
The whole of Nigeria is about 4,000...
Yeah, 4,000 something kilometers.
But again, you know, we have some
each
areas...
border has 1,000 something kilometers.
You know, we have some areas that are riverine, so that's when you don't need to do that. You just need to maintain some patrol. So it's not all... But the important thing, we'll start with the most critical aspects. Right. And that's very critical for us.
But what kind of reaction are you getting to that suggestion at the very highest level?
I can tell you it's been very positive. I mean, I was amazed. I thought I was saying something that people were going to go crazy. But, you know, my soldiers down below called me and said, thank you, sir. That if it means cutting out our salaries to do that, we want that.
Well, people are suggesting, based on what you said, that instead of cutting the salaries of the military, who we need, why don't they stop that Lagos to Calabar highway and put the money there? So that because I mean, what you're saying is critical.
Yeah. No, well, I'm just trying to buttress the fact that even the soldiers down below think it is critical and it's important for us to do that. I've met people have sent to me, look, during my researches, I wrote about the borders. I talked to people about it, and people laughed at me and said it was impossible. I have people sending me their projects on when they have discussed on this issue. So it's been ongoing. It's just that a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to actually say it. So bringing it out, I think, created a lot of avenue and a lot of discourse on it, and which I think is right. We look at the issues and see. If we think doing the concrete wall is well, look at wire mesh, but we must protect our borders. And the idea of putting manpower all through is not possible.
Right.
Definitely we can hold that.
Well, we're fast running out of time, and I know you're busy, so we appreciate your being here. But let me ask you a fairly political question, if you don't mind. I mean,
politics.
Do you think the kind of insecurity that we're seeing in that middle belt zone and in Borno State in the northeast, for example, calls for a state of emergency, perhaps much more justifiably so than River State?
That's politics. I really don't want to go into that. But all I know for real is that what we are facing are man-made problems. If man is ready to solve them, there wouldn't be problems. So it is for us to really look at this thing sincerely, sit down and address them. Talking together to each other, we will find solution to what's going on. And it's not difficult.
Yeah, and as you're looking at people, I mean, groups like Boko Haram and ISWAP, which seem to be resurgent, whereas in the recent past, one of the things we're told is that the groups were fighting each other and killing themselves. We're told now that infighting has stopped, and this is why they're able to forward face the Nigerian military and the public.
The infighting
is that a fact?
No, the infighting is still going on, and the Nigerian military, in fact, in all these countries, it's only the Nigerian military that has been taking them down. So far, within the Boko Haram commanders and Delis, we have killed over almost 80 of the commanders. But the problem is the borders are empty, people are infiltrating. There is a lot of poverty right from the Sahelian region. The whole of Sahel, from Sudan, Central African Republic, cutting down up to even Mali and all this, Mali and Libya, is open. Free trade of weapons, no leadership. So that's why it's easier for these things to infiltrate down into Nigeria.
Right.
And that's why, even with the killings, as you are killing, more still want to come in. And then there is poverty, there is illiteracy.
But there also appears to be improvements in the use of technology by the insurgents.
Also, definitely. And that's why we're talking about the foreign fighters. We had information about some other ones coming together, because some of them also go for foreign training abroad, and then they want to use technology, drones particularly.
Right.
We have had reasons to see them use drones. But again, after the initial, about 5 weeks ago, that we had those setbacks, we have re-strategized our operations, and now they're on the run. We have taken down so many as we speak. Just yesterday, we were able to do the same thing in Baga. We're doing all over areas, especially in the northwest. Again, because we have now synergized again and enhanced our jointness in operation. And one thing I'm always happy about again is that Nigerians are warming up to us. In the past, people were a bit skeptical, thinking that, look, if I give information, maybe what will happen to me? Or if I give information, nothing is done. But now they have seen that no, information comes in, action is taken as quickly as possible. And I think that has always endured their man. And we really appreciate Nigerians for doing that. I want to appeal that we should not get tired. Like we said, it's a whole of society approach. We need everybody to be on board. We must learn to love ourselves as Nigerians, because that's where the issue starts from. We must learn to love our country, because I had a media chat and I was telling the media men, the idea of that, it seems somehow that when a soldier is killed, we celebrate it. When we kill a terrorist or a bandit, nothing is being said. So the soldier that is doing this is asking questions. Then what am I doing here? I'm sacrificing my family, sacrificing everything. I showed a small clip, I think we'll show it later, on what troops go through. One of the soldiers that was there couldn't talk because the bullet pierced through, and so he doesn't have his vocal cord anymore. And so those are the issues we're talking about. Nigerians must love that. Even with this, what's going on, we must love ourselves, we must love our country, we must support our government, and then we must support our armed forces. Encouragement is very critical. It makes them want to do more. Indeed. But when you discourage them, you demoralize them. And when you demoralize your troop, there's nobody. And one thing I always want to remind people, these are the guys standing guard for people to sleep. We're here in Abuja, feeling cool. These guys are there fighting day in, day out. if they pull out, what will happen? Abuja will not be safe. So we should always remember that there are people that are sacrificing so much for the comfort we're enjoying. And all we can do is pray for them, support them, and encourage them.
And thank you for that salutary reminder, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
General Christopher Musa is Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff. Great to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So guys, let's quickly take some of the reactions coming from Nigerians after the CDS said that the federal government should build ranches for the Fulani herders to stop the buying of Nigerians. The question remains, the cow they are taking around is a private business. Should Nigeria be the one to build these ranches for them? Now, let's quickly take a look at what Nigerians are saying. This person said, this is just the answer, but they can't live without disturbing others. This person is saying that ranches or ranching is the way to go, but these Fulanis, they cannot survive without buying other people. And this other person said, the government does not need to romance about with terrorists. A single policy will stop all this menace. Keep your cows in ranches, and any cow seen roaming around will be confiscated and burnt. Cattle rearing is a private business and should be treated as such. And then he wrote further, let me quickly bring out the text. When state governments go around banning Okadas, they don't offer to buy tricycles or cars for them. You see it? So we need to start being serious in this country. This guy is saying that the government is romancing with these terrorists, How dare you say you be the one to build ranches for private businesses? This is wrong. They should just put this law that you should stop roaming about with your cows on the street. Any cows, we saw Ghana did it recently, but Nigeria has refused to do it. They are just beating about the bush as if they don't know that it is all about ethnic cleansing. We have more IDP camps in Benue State. Many communities have been sacked. These Fulanis have occupied them. We've been told that these Fulanis are not even Nigerians. They are coming from outside the country. They come and strike in the night, and these people will leave their communities, leave their houses, and these Fulanis will go there and be living. The federal government is not even talking about how to restore those in the IDPs back to their original communities. And now they are talking about building ranches for them. Nigeria is a place where you reward criminality. That's just the simple truth, Nigeria is where you reward the Boko Haram by people. They are being granted amnesty. Fulanis, terrorists, they kill people. They are now being rewarded with, ranches. So guys, it is really, when you are a patriotic Nigeria, you tend not to benefit. But when you go into criminality, the government is forced to listen to you. And that is what we are seeing when it comes to these Fulani headsmen and also Boko Haram. And now this person reacted to and said, because he lacks understanding of the jihadist agenda. The people perpetrating the killing are not indigenous to Nigeria, and they are keen on buying people and taking over ancestral territories in Nigeria. This is the agenda right there. I think this person just nailed it, This person is saying that the people doing this thing are not doing it because they really need ranches. It's just a way to sack. See all the communities in Benue. They've all been sacked, Many communities. The governor of Plateau State told us that 64 communities have been sacked, and Plateau is still, being run like a normal state. There's no state of emergency. This other person say, I'm still surprised that none of you is keen about the sophisticated weapons these evil headsmen use. We cannot carry even cutlass in peace. Some animals are more superior than others in Niger. Meaning that some people are more superior in Nigeria than others. And this other person say, but how do you retrieve sophisticated ammunition from them after you have built the ranches? They are asking the Chief of Defense Staff, how do you get those weapons from them after giving them ranches for free? This person says, simple. Not only building, but rather commercializing it. So this person is in support of building ranches. Then you commercialize it. That means the herders will bring their cows, but they will have to pay. The sustainability, economic relevance, and its effectiveness can be easily measured. May Nigeria succeed? And another person say, but build it in the place where the people accept ranching. Would you force people to forfeit their ancestral lands for ranching? So this person is saying the CDS should make sure he's building where the people actually want the ranches. Don't go and force people out of their place because you want to build ranches for Fulanis. And this other person say, must we always please a part of the country? Why must we build them a ranch? They should stay in their zone and leave other people alone. Military is the major problem with insecurity in Nigeria. And this person said this is the only solution. Another person said this one done the rescript too. And another person says it amazes me how a nation is meant to bend because of one tribe or one group. All over the world, you buy your land and ranch. As it stands, citizens of Middle Belt should start investing in ranches and create them to fit its populace. Once it is done, you extinguish demands for these murderous individuals. And another person reacted and said, the problem is multidimensional. Modern ranching won't even solve 15% of it, and definitely not when the same government keeps sending these so-called repentant killers back into the very community they terrorize in the name of rehabilitation. So this person is actually saying that that is even not the solution. Another person says, if the cow owners, if the owners of the cow business can buy expensive guns and ammunition for the herdsmen, they sure can buy ranches too. So there may be other reasons for not building ranches. So this person is saying that the owners of this business can actually build ranches, but they don't want to build it because there is another reason behind that. There are a lot of reactions here, and this person says, I support this as long as the modern ranch is in the name, is in their homeland and not in people's land. So I think this makes sense. This makes sense. But he said they've built one in Abuja. Abuja is a no man's land, you know. This person says, who will build ranches for them? The government, or on whose land? And this person said, let the Were donate his father's land for the ranch. Why can't they build ranch in Sokoto? Even in Kanu State, the governor of Kanu, Ganduje, then the former governor, told them, come, I have enough land. And they refused. They've been going to the south, buying people. Kidnapping is now the order of the day, courtesy of Fulani headsmen. Anyway, guys, there are a lot of reactions here, which I will not be able to take. Let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.